It is bright up here, wow. All right, hi everybody, my name is Dave Azer. Like Patrick said, I'm the Vice President of Marketing with Jacuzzi, specifically focused on Jacuzzi Bath Remodel. It's just been so amazing to be here the last couple of days, seeing a lot of familiar faces, meeting some new people, so it's been really fun. I want to quickly give my background. I will admit to you, I've been in the home improvement business for my entire adult life. So, I'm 53 now, so it's been quite a few years. I started in 1992 with New England Sash Windows. We were able to build New England Sash into the largest home improvement company in New England over those 13 years. From there, I moved my family to Ohio to work for a franchise of Owens Corning basement finishing system. We had offices in Columbus and Chicago and Madison, Wisconsin, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and Virginia. And we built that to the biggest Owens Corning basement franchise at a time where that product was the hottest product in home improvement. From there, I went to the manufacturing side with Owens Corning Corporate and led the basement finishing system marketing team there. And for the last 7 years, I've been with Bath Wraps / Jacuzzi. I say Bath Wraps / Jacuzzi because Jacuzzi purchased Bath Wraps around 6 years ago. And like Patrick talked about, the brand has evolved into Jacuzzi Bath Remodel over that time, where about 5 years ago, we started the Jacuzzi Bath Remodel brand. And so talking about Jacuzzi Bath Remodel, again, Jacuzzi purchased Bath Wraps, that's what that connection is, and we have dealers all over the country. Our dealers, even back in the Bath Wraps days, these are the most legendary dealers in the industry. We have Reborn. You heard from one of the most brilliant marketing minds in our industry, Beth Byron, yesterday, from Reborn. Also, other deals we have are Dreamstyle and Bath Expo and Tundraland and PJ Fitzpatrick, and the list goes on and on. Many of the most successful home improvement companies in the industry. Well, what we decided to do a couple years ago is we want to get into the retail side of the business. And how we did that is we bought a company from Brian Gottlieb. I'm sure many of you know Brian, another legend in the industry, the founder of Tundraland. Well, he had started in Arizona, Jacuzzi Bath Remodel of Phoenix, which we then purchased from him in June of 2021. Why we wanted to get into this business is we feel we can be a better partner for our dealers by being in the business ourselves. And also, we're using this to cover territories that are undercovered, that we don't have the coverage that we need in individual territories. And it really enables us to understand the business to be a better partner for our dealers. And so anyways, when we purchased this business, it came with an up and running sales team, an up and running production team. What it didn't come with at all though was a marketing team, a call center, a field marketing team. There was kind of some pressure there. I remember in December of that year when the TSA went away, and I was told, hey, you have to have a call center started from scratch. Almost 2 years later, we have 40 call center reps. We have 70 field marketing reps. We have a marketing team, and that call center is very good at converting leads to appointments and to issue leads to the sales team. I will say this though, companies like Reborn and others, they have a huge head start on us in technology. Our company stores are not world-class today leveraging technology. We can't be, we're brand new. As Dave Yoho says, one of my friends and really mentors, he always says, you cannot know what you do not know. We're new in this. We don't know everything that needs to happen to be world-class in technology. Now, I will tell you this. We just hired, and his very first day was Monday, Milton Brown. He's our application architect. No pressure, Milton. Milton's right back over there in the back. Milton's job is to make sure that Jacuzzi Bath Remodel is world-class in leveraging technology. So again, no pressure at all, Milton. And so I think as we go through this presentation, we'll see why it's so important to have a single person at your company that owns technology, that owns making sure your company is world-class in technology. With everything you've heard this week, how can you possibly implement it yourself if you have a whole bunch of other things you have to do? You have to have one person at your company, and their job is to make sure you're world-class at leveraging technology. Now, world-class means something different from a $2 million company to a $100 million company, and we have deals that are $500 million, right? There's actually, I think we saw a speaker yesterday from a company that's coming up to $1 billion, and it looks different, right? If you heard from Danny Fisher yesterday, where West Shore's technology is going to be different from where we are and probably from where you are. But as soon as you can, as soon as your company is big enough, there should be one person that is in charge of making sure your company is excellent at leveraging technology. And so I want to go back to New England SASH, 1992, and talk about my tech stack. My tech stack in 1992 was a push-button telephone and FoxPro, or as they used to call it, Visual FoxPro. It was a very rudimentary CRM for its time, called at that point a database management system. Now, at New England SASH, we used to issue 2,500 appointments to our sales reps on a monthly basis, and we did that with FoxPro. And of course, to get that many, we probably worked, 5,000 leads in a month, and so it worked really well. However, unfortunately, that is no longer our tech stack. From our web developer, to our telephony, to our dialer, to our CRM, to all the things that you see there, right? That's just in the marketing space, and that's just some of the technology that we have. And going back to that technology leader slide, how can you be world-class at leveraging technology if someone isn't every day thinking, how do they work together? How are they configured? How is the data flowing? If you have this much technology, but you don't have the ability to properly manage it, you have no chance to be great with technology. That's our marketing technology. Then you have our point of sales apps, right? And you have a lot of people have heard of Leap and Engage and Fluix and all these different point of sales apps. And these two slides, there may be, half of the technology, platforms, apps, and just different technology that we use. And so when you think about how it all works together, it really comes back to having that focused person that's every day waking up thinking, how is this all working for me? When I saw the agenda for this event, I wanted to try to bring you something that you can bring back tomorrow and get more appointments. You don't have to hire anybody. You don't have to hire a web developer. You don't have to hire a CRM company. You don't have to hire a data flow. You don't have to do anything. I wanted to come with some content that you could take back and tomorrow generate more appointments. So that's my goal for the clock is broken, but I think 15 minutes. This is one of my favorite things. So leads are not like great art, right? When you're at an art museum, you see great art, you want to stand back, you want to admire it, you look at the colors, the textures. You might wonder, what was this artist thinking about when they created this masterpiece? And so we have the Mona Lisa by Da Vinci. And you might wonder who Lisa was. It turns out Lisa is an Italian noblewoman, Lisa Giardino. I'll bet you didn't think you're going to learn that coming to Fast Remodel's event. So we have Lisa Giardino. Next we have The Starry Night by Van Gogh. Van Gogh was at a hospital in Saint-Rémy-de-Provence. And when he painted this, that was not outside his window. It was a totally different scene. So even to this day, we have no idea what Van Gogh was painting or even thinking about what area, what scene, what village he painted in The Starry Night. And last, we have my favorite one, Jacqueline with Flowers by Picasso. This was actually Picasso's girlfriend later in his life. What I kind of wonder though, was her neck really that long? I need to pull up like an image of Jacqueline and see like how it compares to the painting. Leads though, they're nothing like great art, right? Leads are actually more like a new car. When you buy a new car, you don't want to have it towed to your garage. You don't want to have it sit there. You don't sit there and ponder, I wonder what the people that assembled this at the plant in Michigan were thinking about when they assembled my car. Okay, when you get a new car, you want to drive it. And the reason that leads are just like a new car is new cars and leads depreciate. right? When you get a lead, every second you do not call it, that lead is depreciating big time. Now, one thing I will tell you though is that the outbound call is still king. Yes, you need to text and email to get as many conversions as possible. But most of your appointments, the vast majority, come from an outbound call. So if you have some technology people telling you that you can get most of your leads by email and text, none of the data says it's true at none of the large, most sophisticated companies out there. So please keep in mind, the call is still king. And so while your timing is crucial, you're gonna contact 5 times more people if you call within 5 minutes compared to 10 minutes, and then you're gonna be 100 times more likely if it's 5 minutes compared to 1 hour. But even more, if you look at this graph here, the baseline on this is more than a day, right? So off the top of my head, if you go 24 hours versus more than a day, I think it's 17% better, right? But then as you keep going, what's amazing is if you look at it from 3 minutes, it's 98% better. 2 minutes, it's 160% better. And 1 minute, it's 391% better. This is from millions of records flowing through databases and CRMs that tracked these results. So it's really powerful. And did you know that 78% of the people buy from the first company that contacts them? And so what is the follow-up process? Well, first of all, it's an immediate call. Now, within 2 minutes, our call center is looking to do within 30 seconds, right? But again, at worst, we want to call within 2 minutes. And we'll be talking very shortly about like how can we make sure that actually happens. But number 2, what we have to do then, if they don't answer, is an immediate redial. I call that a double tap. If you only get one thing from me being up here today, if you are not doing a double tap, an immediate redial, start tomorrow. It's best if it's automated because when the call center rep has to dial again, the mentality isn't the same. So an automated double tap is the best. Here's how the data works. On your first call, if you do an immediate call and you have good spam blocking and so your caller ID shows up well on your consumer's phone, you might get 20 or 25% of the people to answer the phone of the first call. On the second call, you might get 7% or 8% or 6%. Once you get past that double tap, the percent of people that answer, it's like 1%, 2%, 0.5% as you keep calling day after day after day. The double tap is by far the second most effective contact. Think about yourself, right? You get a call on the cell phone and some number you don't recognize, you probably don't answer it, right? If that call comes right back at you, you might think, you know what, maybe this is important, let me take it. Okay, it makes sense. The double tap works and will increase your conversion tomorrow if you're not doing it and you implement it. So from there, hopefully, all leads get instantly added to your CRM through API. I'm gonna ask some questions in a second. From there, after 10 seconds, send a text. After 5 minutes, send an email. And then from there, you set up a cadence of emails, texts, and telephone nurture. And so how to master speed to lead. So first of all, you have to define accountability. Who at your company is accountable for speed to lead? There needs to be one person that you're working with that it's their job to make sure you have great speed to lead, probably your call center manager. From there, you want to set a speed to lead goal, which we'll be looking at a goal in a minute. Third, you want to track and incentivize speed to lead. And number 4, use technology and automate whenever possible. And so what should the goal be? Well, one goal to aim for, if you know we're close, is 80% of business time leads are called within 2 minutes. Yes, we'd like 30 seconds, but that's not always practical with how much staff you have. Can you overstaff enough to call everybody in 30 seconds? Maybe not. But this is a good goal. 1 minute's better, 30 seconds is the best, but 2 minutes is very good. If you can get 80% of the leads called within 2 minutes, that is very good. From there, it's creating a speed to lead culture. Do some research and share the data. Slides just like I put up here today, right? Showing the team what happens with speed to lead. Then do a 1-month test where the team is just focused on all-out speed to lead and your call center manager is actively looking, okay, the lead just came in, what time are we calling it? They're sharing every hour with the team. Hey, here's the 7 leads. Here's what time we called it. Right? A 30-day all-out speed to lead focus. You want to track it, incentivize it, make it fun, right? Do some sort of fun contest for the team. We're going to talk about setting up sound alerts for new leads, and again, making it fun. So it's a culture around how important speed to lead is. And so this is a form in how you track speed to lead. It's very simple, right? It shows the time the lead hit your system, the time stamp when that call was made, and your lead hitting the system needs to be when it touched your CRM, not when the CRM processed it and put it up to your dialer or put it up to be called, but the time where it first came and touched anything that you can see. And so you're just going to track for each individual lead how much time did it take to make that first attempt. And so my advice is go back to your office and just print out the last 30 days. And you might have to manually fill this out, right? Here's the time each lead, if you're getting it through email, the timestamp on the email, right? And then the timestamp from your telephony of exactly when that first call was made. A lot of times, I'll ask people the speed to lead, they'll say it's great. We call everything in a minute. And I give them this task, and they tell me their average speed to lead is 25 minutes. So knowing your speed to lead is the first step in improving your speed to lead. And then this is a very simple report, right? So it shows in any one week how many leads you received through the internet, what's the total time it took, right? So if you have 5 leads and one took 3 minutes and one took 7, one took 5, whatever it is, you add all that up, you divide it, and you can see this has an average speed to lead, and then the percentage of leads that you call within 2 minutes, 5 minutes, and 15 minutes. But you're really looking to get to where that third line is, where it was taken 2.4 on average, and 81% of the time, those leads were called within 2 minutes. And you can do this report manually at first if you have to. Speed to lead is that important. This is worth your time to do something manually, to get this data, to show it to your team, and to work on it. And so use technology for speed to lead. I have a couple questions. I saw not everybody answered Rick Harshaw's questions, but I hope you answer mine. So when you guys receive a lead, raise your hand if it goes to an email and has to get data entered into your CRM. Raise your hand if that's your current system. It goes to an email and has to get data entered. Okay. Now, raise your hand if all leads are automatically API'd to your CRM. Raise your hand there. Okay. So more to the API, some to the email. Some people look like they were email but didn't want to raise their hand and admit it. I saw that look too. Raise your hand if you're still making manual calls or even manual calls through your CRM, but you're not using an auto dialer. So if you're not using an actual auto dialer, raise your hand. Okay. And if you are using an auto dialer, raise your hand. Okay, that's about half and half. In terms of speed to lead, if you're not using an auto dialer, there's a simple thing you can do to help your speed to lead. Every lead should hit an email. Even if it goes into your system through API, it should hit an email. And if it doesn't, you can have your vendor set that up. And so when your lead hits an email, something simple that you can do is you can have a computer or an iPad set up that has a sound alert anytime that very specific email address, you have all leads forwarded to one email address, and you have a sound alert. And then you can actually plug wireless speakers into that iPhone or computer, and you can put them in the 4 corners of your call center. And every time an internet lead comes in, there's some sort of sound alert, a bong, a bing, or something. And the call center manager's looking and says, okay, who's on that lead? Like, who's gonna be calling that right away? When you don't have technology dictating, when you don't have a dialer making sure you're making that next call, you probably need that sound notification to get the best possible speed to lead for your setup. And if you do have a dialer, you might think you automatically have good speed to lead. That's not the case. Here's the steps on what it usually looks like. The lead comes in and it hits your CRM. When we first set our call center up and our dialer up, i360, it was batching leads every 15 minutes. And then that lead would get sent to the dialer. So we fixed that, of course. We figured that out. We fixed that up. From there, your dialer prepares the lead to be put up in the campaign to be called. These are all times. It takes time when it hits your CRM to get sent to the dialer. It gets time from the dial to go to the campaign. Then once it's in the campaign, now it depends upon you having call center staff ready to call it. And lastly, if you're understaffed in the call center and you can't do speed to lead, you're costing yourself thousands of dollars or tens of thousands of dollars or $100,000 in sales, depending upon how big your company is. Because when you don't have speed to lead, think back to the graph, you're losing leads and sales every day. So that last stage of, that first stage of what's my speed from lead, lead hits the CRM to go to the dialer, what's the speed from the dialer to get put up to the campaign, and then what's the lead from campaign to dial. And the only way to know that is to dig in with your technology partners and to learn it. And to have them show you, okay, the lead hits here, it was sent up then to the next step, and you need to be able to follow that journey to know where there might be gaps and to fix that gap. When we first plugged our dialer in, we had huge gaps, which we fixed right away, but now we still have more gaps. I'm still not happy with where we are between our CRM and our dialer and how much time it takes to get up in that campaign, and that's one of the biggest projects that we have open today. And so we did talk about this, that notification. So if you don't have a dialer, and especially if you're dependent upon someone to call from an email, right? And now the person that gets the email is in the bathroom, or the email didn't get forwarded through, or if you're gonna print the email out before you call, all these things that happen with emails. If you're dependent upon email, the sound notification will really help your speed to lead by having, a lead email that's connected directly to that inbox. You have speakers on the four corners of the room, and then the manager right away is always saying, hey, who's making that call right now? And so a couple of speed to lead examples. So company A, they have horrible speed to lead, right? They spend $5,000 on a campaign, generate 100 leads, cost per lead is 50. They had 12 contacts, they had 4 quotes, they had 2 sales, $20,000 in revenue, 25% marketing costs. They say, this lead source is no good, we're gonna cancel it. It's definitely the leads. Company 2, 2-minute speed to lead instead of 2-hour speed to lead. So of the same 100 leads, they make 60 contacts, they give 20 quotes, they make 10 sales for $100,000 and the marketing cost is 5%. And so speed to lead can take a campaign that doesn't work and make it work. That's how powerful this is. And so when you don't have the right ability to understand it and you don't have enough call center staff to execute it, even if the technology is working right, you are losing money. And so what can you do today? Then I think I have 5 minutes at the end if there's any questions for a quick Q&A. Number 1, set up a speed to lead goal. Number 2, use technology and understand the stages in the journey between your CRM and your dialer. Use a sound notification if you're not using a dialer. And also one thing I'll add to this, do that print out your last 100 internet leads and look at the timestamp when it hit your email, the timestamp when it hit your CRM, and the timestamp from the telephone call that was made. And so again, tracking speed to lead, incentivizing speed to lead, and lastly, do a 1-month test where you just go all out speed to lead and see what that does to your ratio from lead to appointment, okay? So with that, again, leads are nothing like great art. They're just like a car. They depreciate, and if you don't make that immediate call, that immediate double tap, your conversion suffers. When you do make that immediate call, that immediate double tap, the value of that lead increases because there's a higher chance to make a sale.